Hey friends, and welcome to our story time. Are you ready for an amazing adventure from the Bible? Today, we're going to hear about a tiny shepherd boy who faced a giant and won. A long, long time ago, in the land of Israel, there lived a giant named Goliath. He wasn't just big, he was huge. Taller than a house, over 9 feet tall, and covered in heavy bronze armor. He was a champion for the Philistine army, and every single day he would stomp out and shout terrible things at the army of Israel. He'd yell, "Send out your best soldier to fight me. If he wins, we'll be your slaves. But if I win, you'll be our slaves." He even made fun of their God. Can you imagine how scary that was? The Israelite soldiers, even the bravest ones, were terrified. They would hear his booming voice and see his giant shadow, and they would run and hide. Nobody dared to fight him. This went on for 40 days. Now, far away from the battlefield, in the quiet fields near Bethlehem, there was a young shepherd boy named David. David wasn't a soldier. He was the youngest of 8 brothers, and his job was to take care of his father's sheep. He was brave and strong, protecting his flock from lions and bears, but he was still just a boy. One day his father, Jesse, said, "David, take this roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread to your brothers in the army camp. See how they are doing." So, David packed up the food and headed to the camp. When he arrived, he heard that same deep, rumbling voice. It was Goliath, shouting his daily challenge. David saw the soldiers running away in fear, and his heart burned with anger. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. He turned to a soldier and asked, "What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and takes away this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" David wasn't looking at the giant's size, he was looking at the giant's disrespect for God. His older brother, Eliab, got angry and said, "What are you even doing here? Go back to your sheep." But David knew something had to be done. Someone overheard David's brave words and told King Saul. The king sent for David. When David stood before him, he said, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." King Saul looked at David, a young boy, not a trained warrior, and said, "You can't fight him. You are only a boy, and he has been a warrior since he was young." But David had an answer. He said, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. The Lord, who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." King Saul was so impressed by David's faith that he said, "Go, and the Lord be with you." Then, he tried to help David by giving him his own armor. He put a bronze helmet on David's head and dressed him in a heavy coat of mail. But when David tried to walk, he could barely move. It was all too big and clunky. David took it all off and said, "I cannot go in these, because I am not used to them." Instead, David trusted what he knew. He took his shepherd's staff, went to a nearby stream, and chose 5 smooth stones. He put them in his shepherd's bag. With his sling in his hand, he walked out to face the giant. Goliath saw this young boy coming toward him with a staff, and started laughing. His voice echoed across the valley. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" he roared. "Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." Goliath was insulted that they sent a small boy to fight him. But David wasn't scared. His voice rang out, clear and strong. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." David didn't wait. He ran quickly toward the battle line to meet Goliath. As he ran, he reached into his bag, took out a stone, put it in his sling, and began to swing it around and around. Faster and faster it went. Then he let it go. The stone whizzed through the air, straight and true. It struck Goliath right on his forehead, where there was no armor to protect him. The stone sank into his forehead, and the giant ... fell. He fell face down on the ground with a mighty thud. The fight was over in an instant. David ran over, took Goliath's own huge sword, and with it, he defeated the giant for good. When the Philistine army saw that their champion was dead, they panicked. They dropped their weapons and ran away as fast as they could, and the army of Israel. They let out a huge cheer. They chased after the Philistines, winning a great victory that day. David, the little shepherd boy, became a hero. He showed everyone that it doesn't matter how small you are or how big your enemy is. What matters is the size of your God. God doesn't need fancy swords or heavy armor to win battles. He just needs a brave heart that trusts in Him completely. You know, sometimes we face giants in our own lives. It might be a bully at school, a test that seems impossible, or maybe just a fear that feels too big to handle. When you face those giants, I want you to remember the story of David. Remember that God is always with you, and He is bigger and more powerful than any problem you will ever face. You don't have to fight your battles alone. Just like David, you can talk to God, trust in Him, and be brave. He is fighting for you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this story encourages you to be brave and have faith. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Good night and sleep well, brave one.